Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast. This is episode 26 with Bradley Bishop. I recorded this at the new home studio. If you're watching on YouTube, the GoPro battery died after around 22 minutes, something like that. So the rest of the episode is audio. If you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, Amazon Podcasts, or Podbean, then the whole episode won't be affected. But I recommend checking out the YouTube just to see the video, checking out the studio and that sort of stuff. It's come a decent way along since I first started with the podcast, and hopefully it all keeps going and getting some pretty rad guests on the show and telling some pretty good stories. So as far as dates, we've got kicking off at 7 o'clock, Smith's Alternative on Sunday the 11th of October. We have open mic at the basement on the 20th of October. Doors at 7:30, kicks off at 8. So get in early to secure a spot. The last few have been really successful, and if you want to get a good spot, you got to get in there close to doors. And then also you've got Boardwalk Comedy on the 28th of October, run by my buddy Ross Yeoman. Okay, so there's some of the comedy dates coming up. Hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did recording it, and shout out to Bradley for being on the show, and now enjoy the rest of the episode. Bradley Bishop, how you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good to be back. Can hardly see your face over this boom arm. I suppose that's not such a bad thing, is it?
Oh man, this the thing is, like, before the boom arms, this was just some fucking like super heavy mics that everyone would have to hold.
Yeah, I remember doing weights the last time just to fucking prepare.
Benny Eggs came on the show the first time, and then again the last episode.
Yeah.
And then we'll chatting about like the boom arm. So finally, it's taken me so many episodes, and I'm finally got these fucking.
They're fucking expensive, man. They take ages to come as well. Like, I got mine a few months ago, and I ordered it at Better Music, and they're like, "Sorry, man, but we've been like fucking on backlog of these things." And I was like, that's all good. And they're like, it should be here in about 3 weeks. And ended up arriving like a month and a half later. So,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I've still been too lazy to start up any of my podcasts though. So,
oh man, it's fucking just anticipating the arrival of the bloody Bradley Bishop podcast.
yeah, I put it out a feeler on fucking Instagram too early, I think, because I live with like 3 other people. So that in a small share house. And a dog, you just fuck, bro. The amount of times like you'd be like, all right, sweet, I could do this now, and then someone will come home, like we'll do some vacuuming, we'll want to cook dinner or some shit. So it's like, fuck. So that's why I'm excited once I get to Newcastle, have my own fucking room similar to this. I might do it in the garage downstairs. And yeah, my missus was like, can we get an indoor plant? Can we fucking have, fairy lights and all this shit? I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever the fuck you want to put in the house, put it in the fucking house, man. I'll take the garage, because whatever I fucking design, dude, if I put a fucking indoor plant somewhere, she'd be like, that indoor plant doesn't look good there. Like, that doesn't belong. And I was just like, let's just avoid the fight by you just fucking taking control of whatever you want. Whatever sofa you want, whatever size TV, fucking cabinets, I don't give a fuck. Just, we'll buy it, put it there, and I don't want to hear about it.
Makes it easier. Yeah, dude. So you fucking so I don't have like that desire to fucking increase the amount of shit I got, man. I'm the opposite. Like,
are you trying to downsize?
I've tried, because I kept so much stuff for so long, dude, and then moving into this place, I had to move so much shit, and I'm like, I never want to fucking move that much crap again. Yeah. And you probably know, moving like interstate, so much fucking stuff.
It's, dude, and you realize it's like, I've got shit that I don't use, that I have, that I'm like, I might use this one day. So I've got this Bunnings Warehouse soccer ball that I might use. And it's like, why the fuck do I still have this thing? Like, I bought this for my dog. He didn't fucking want it, and I just haven't thrown it out. Jen, I got a fucking, like, a collective, almost addictive personality. So, like, I bought fucking, like, flat-brimmed hats, or, like, team, like, hats.
Yeah.
Since I was like 15. I have so many fucking hats. I've got boxes that just take up fucking room in my house. And my missus is like, I haven't seen you wear one of those hats in a long time. I'm like, yeah, but that's a fucking 2015 Blue Jays hat that I might wear again. And I'm dangerously close to going down that road with shoes as well, man. Like, I have a few pairs of kicks, and I just look at it, I'm like, this could be a problem in the future, man.
Yeah, you always have fresh fucking kicks and hats though, man. I remember the when we did Woggy had the BB hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the story with that, man? Did you get that made, or is that
so that logo I got designed up, and I still haven't like made it an official kind of logo. I haven't copyrighted it or anything. So that's why I haven't really put it on my Instagram. I had it on there at one point and I took it off and I was like, fuck, some cunt could just take this and then copyright it. So I need to probably do that like when I get home. But I was in Hawaii for my best mate's wedding in January.
Yeah.
And they've got these stores called lid stores over there, which is basically where I used to just walk in and get a rock hard dick and just want to buy like 14 hats at once. But they're all like 50, 60 bucks. So you got to pick which one that you fucking want. And I said to the guy there, I was like, can you make me a custom, because I like the New Era style hats with the logo. And I was like, can you make me a hat? And he's like, yeah, we can, but it's expensive. And I was just like, I don't care how much it is, bro. Like, I'm over in Hawaii. Like, just make this fucking thing for me. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, how long does it take? And he's just like, oh, it could take like 2-3 days. And we were only in Honolulu for a day at that point. And I was like, I'll be back in a few weeks. Can you have it ready? And he's like, yeah, how do you want it? And so the baseball style, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is how much of a fucking loser I am.
Yeah.
The inside of the logo pops and then the stitching on the outside is smaller.
Right.
And he's like, how do you want it? And I was like, exactly like the Major League Baseball hats where it pops in the middle and the stitching is smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
And he's like, all right, cool, no worries. And so 2 weeks pass and we've got literally 1 more day in Honolulu or 2 more days in Honolulu before we fly out. And like as soon as we get to Honolulu, I'm like saying to my missus, like, we need to get to the lid store so I can pick up my hat. And she's like, relax, man, like it's gonna be there. And I was like, they're open till 9 o'clock, but like let's just go in there now. And she's like, dude, I'm tired, like let's just go in tomorrow. I was like, no, we need to go now. And it was lucky that we did, because we rocked up at the shop and just typical of island time, dude. I was like, bro, did you make that hat for me that I've paid you for? And he's like, fuck, no, I haven't done that yet. And I'm not working tomorrow. So like he's like, I'm a bit flat out today. I was just like, bro, I've paid you for this hat. Like,
yeah. You've had fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah, you've had 2 weeks. I'm like, I could just make this hat. So he ends up like, he's like, oh, I'll sort something out. And he's just like, come back tomorrow. I come back tomorrow about 5 o'clock. And we flew out the next day quite early. So we got back there at 5 o'clock. And he's like, here's your hat, man. And he made it in the reverse where like the stitching on the outside was bigger and the inside of the logo was like shrunk, like sucked in a little bit. Yeah. And he's just like, how does it look? And I was just like, fuck, man. It's like when someone cuts your hair shit and you just like, fuck, man, I wasn't expecting this. I was like so shattered, dude. I was just like, oh, fuck. And then I was like, I've already paid for it. I was like, thanks, man. And he could just tell that I was like disappointed. And my Mrs. is like, it still looks cool. Like, just wear it. And it's eventually grown on me a little bit, but I still want him to...
Wasn't what you fucking ordered, but...
Yeah, want him to fix it, so
it's
I'll get another one.
Nah, dude, it's a dope-ass fucking hat. I'm keen to see that brand be a thing. Fucking suits your style and shit.
Yeah, well, I think I'll probably eventually get T-shirts that just have, like, the logo on it, so it's not... I don't think I'll have anything with my name. I think it'll just be the 2 initials, so...
Yeah.
Like, to the person walking past, to the unassuming eye, it could be a fucking baseball team. Like, it could be. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I like the Aussie fucking, like, conversations. Just, like, in your mind, you were like, fuck, cunt, I've fucking had this thing for 2 weeks, and you haven't even fucking done it.
Dude.
But, like, in person, you probably just been like, oh, man, like, can you try and have a crack at it?
Yeah, you're just like, that's right, mate. Like, it's okay. I understand everyone gets busy. I was like, could you try stitch it now? And I put the pressure on him, and he's like, yeah, I can stitch it now. And he tried, and, like, he was getting, like, all sweaty, and he's just like, oh, man, like, I can't really do it if you're just like sitting like over him, just watching him like him make it. He's like, I can't do that. He's like, just fucking come back tomorrow, please. I was like, all right, bro, I'll come back tomorrow. And then, yeah, he still made it incorrectly, but that's all right. Fuck, we got to start somewhere, so should be good.
Yeah, that's fucking rad, man. How funny is it, like, the perception of Aussies in other countries, man? I was fucking listening to a podcast before, and they had these, like, feedback things from call centers, like Indian call centers.
Yeah.
And they're, like, just saying that Aussies are the fucking most difficult cunts to deal with.
Bro, I fuck with them every time they call. Every time. Like, we got one the other day, and it was, like, a Filipino, and they were just like, oh, is John Wick there? Is John Wick there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm John Wick. So I just started talking like that back. And my missus is like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, stop talking. And she's just like, oh, we're here to talk about your electricity bill. You know, it's overdue. I'd like you to get the payment ready for me now. And I was like, I'm just so upset, you know. I had a rough couple of weeks. Somebody killed my dog, you know. So I've been, you know, quite vengeful, trying to kill everybody. I did not know that my electricity bill was even due. And anyway, I'm just going back and forth with this lady, and she's just like, yeah, so I really need you to pay it. I really need your credit card details. And I just strung her along for about 15 minutes, and yeah, my partner was just like, you know, like, that's how people, like, get your details, right? They'll just call you and keep you on the phone for a certain amount of time and then just hang up on you. And then they've got access to your, like, they can access your bank account and all this kind of shit. And I was just like, whatever, dude, you're trying to scare me. And then literally, bro, like, the next day there was money out of my account. And I was like, what the fuck? But I don't, like, when I called them, they were just like, yeah, we think it's like a subscription that you could have been. But it was for a Calm app, you know, that app?
Yeah.
I've never downloaded that app. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, nah, this can't be fucking legit. And I have been so lazy in following that up. I was just like, oh, well, you got $60, you cunts.
Yeah, fuck.
But I had fun, fuck yous. So.
Dude, that's the funniest thing, dude. It's fucking for the Calm app, and it's made you fucking pissed off.
Yeah, dude, it just made me rage.
I got that app, but I cancelled the fucking thing before it renewed.
Yeah.
I have so many apps. I'll do I'm a stingy fuck, dude. I'll do the trial and see what.
Yeah.
I had one that like fully records, just like bugging your own fucking room. It fully like records you sleeping, and it just pulls out any parts where you're snoring, and it tells you like how much over the whole night you snore. Like, it's legit just bugging your room. Like, there'd be some fucking dude sitting at a computer listening to you, like, would be able to listen to you.
That would be the worst job in the world.
Imagine that, dude, just hearing like, or you hear like people banging and shit. You have to fucking like try and just like listen for the fucking snoring.
Oh, dude. You're just up for fucking hours listening to cunts.
People just nearly losing consciousness.
Be the worst.
It was part of my like fucking whole sleep study thing. I talk about it on stage about having sleep apnea, and I was like, fuck it, I'll get this app, but I won't. They actually, it was legitimately like $60 after the first month.
Yeah.
Like, it was $60 for like 6 months, and I was just like, fuck that. Or 100 for 12 months. I was just like, fuck that.
Those Whoop straps that Joe Rogan's always harping on about.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they monitor your sleep if you
They
don't.
do that as well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one, and it was just like, yeah, it tells you how many disturbances you have. Oh, excuse me. And dude, I'm like the road runner in my sleep, dude. I just fucking am always tossing and turning. And it's like, you had 115 disturbances last night. And I was like, fuck, what's going on? The funniest is when you just get blackout drunk and you see yourself just like how much sleep you got in like deep fucking sleep because you just zonked out. And just, yeah, fuck, dude. And then I get my snores on when I'm fucking drunk, so.
I get the same thing, man. Like, so I got that app, and at the time I was like contracting with my day job and working at the bar at night.
Yeah.
At the moment I'm still doing 2 jobs, but the work isn't as crazy as it was, because at the same time I was still trying to go to the gym, but I've given up on that at this point.
Yeah, I gave up on the gym a long time ago.
I still try and like be pretty good with the diet, but the fucking gym, man, I was going to the gym all the time but not eating good. So now that I'm like cleaning up my diet but not going to the gym, I'm still better off.
Yeah.
But I'd need to go back to the gym, and fucking this is turning more into a Joe Rogan podcast as we go. But the shout out to fucking Whoop. Thanks for sponsoring all the fucking free advertising we just gave the cunts.
Yeah.
But anyway, I looked at my schedule, and what would happen is I'd pretty much work like days and nights for like 4 or 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you'll just see this like mad fucking drop where it'd just be like deep sleep when I finally had like a night off. So that sort of data was pretty good. Like it legitimately, because I had the Fitbit, which is like another brand that does the same thing. A competitor, if you guys want to fucking pay us more money than Whoop or Switch, I don't give a fuck. And they like it showed the data, and I actually exported some of that data and took it to the like sleep place, and that helped them get like not just one night but compare what the data they had to the previous month as well.
Yeah.
So like it helped me out, so fuck, maybe that was good. But yeah, it also like if advertisers are listening to this shit for advertising, I don't have a sponsor, hit me up. Also, if you're listening back to the fucking episode to try and find some bullshit in like 20 years time, if one of us becomes fucking famous to try and pin us on some shit, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
yeah, fuck
I stand by everything I've ever said ever. So
yeah, there we go. You found your fucking gold. You've listened back through.
Don't go on my Facebook and look at fucking old tweets. Even though it's not a tweet, but you get what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah, except by then it might be. It might be all just one fucking platform.
Dude, fuck, everything's been deregistered and it's all fucking done through a Chinese app.
Yeah,
They've nuked us.
Hello from the fucking past when we used to have different apps for shit.
When you could go out and do things. Dude, fuck, imagine how shit it would be living in Victoria, cunt.
Oh, right now, dude?
Oh, man.
Because we kind of got that lockdown thing, right? Oh, yeah, for the same people listening back, this is before the world fully went to fucking shit in 2020. Hi, fucking g'day. How you going?
Hey, cunt.
We kind of went into that, like, lockdown shit for a while, but it was, like, not as long as that fucking shit, dude. Like,
No, I needed to take a few extra. Like, I needed to... So I was working from home, but I'd have to go in every now and then. And then I just didn't want to do that anymore. And I didn't want to see my partner anymore, so I just made up that I had coronavirus. I was just like, yeah,
Fuck.
I need 2 weeks. I need 2 weeks of sitting at home, smoking weed, playing video games, drinking. And then that just turned into me doing that every day instead of working anyway. And yeah, then I called him and I was just like, yeah, all your phone calls that these cunts keep doing is interrupting my weed smoking, my video game playing, and my beer drinking. So I've come to the executive decision that I'm not working for you guys anymore. But I still need money, so I'm going to stop working for you in a month. And then for the month, I just ramped up my activity. They're just like, how's your sales calls? I'm like, terrible. My KPIs and my bong hits and my beer drink, though, through the fucking roof, cunt. I've gained 15 kilos. I've spent all my money on Uber Eats. I'm fucking tearing a new one. Come on, cunts, get on board. They didn't
fucking
know.
loose.
They didn't. And yeah, now they're in the hole, so fuck them. It's all good. don't need those cunts. Until I spend all my money on tattoos and realise I do need those cunts.
Dude, you're saying before about houseplants. I forgot to ask you. Didn't you work in like landscaping or some shit?
No, I've done like some construction work, but they were like, you're a huge pussy and we don't want you here anymore. And I was like, that's pretty justifiable. Thanks, guys. That's another shit job that I've had. I just get shit jobs, and then I realise that all I want to do down the line is just fucking
Nothing?
comedy. Oh yeah, nothing. Dole bludging would be great, but I've got loans to repay. So once I pay that off, I might become a dole bludger. But yeah, dude, like it just gets to a certain time where cunts just annoy me at work, and I'm like, fuck, man, I can't keep coming here 40 hours a week because I want to fucking stab half the people in here. So just for the rationale thinking in my brain, I'm just like, maybe you should quit your job instead of committing mass homicide. So
you took a fucking you took like a clarity moment there to be like, no, clarity moment's like some sober shit, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm never sober, so I couldn't be a clarity
It
moment.
can't be just like a moment of sobriety or whatever they
sobriety.
call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I said that like a drunk cunt.
What's being sober?
Who
knows?
You were like, nah, for my own mental health, I'm not gonna fucking keep doing this shit.
Oh, dude. Well, it's just like, yeah, every job eventually becomes fucking annoying. So I just work I'll give you like 18 months, 2 years. The longest I've ever had a job was like maybe 5 years. And that's because it was fucking chill. So
yeah.
I didn't give it, like, no one really gave a fuck. As long as you showed up and did a little bit, you still got paid. So, and quite handsomely as well. So, excuse me, that was ideal because you could just get fucked up all the time. So,
dude, that's the fucking shit. I feel like a lot of comedians that I listen to their podcasts, like top tier kind of fucking level comedians, say the same shit though. Like they're like, I couldn't fucking do a day job anymore.
Oh, it's the hardest thing, man. Like for someone like I've got full on fucking like ADD, bro. So someone is explaining how to do the job, and halfway through I just tune out because I'm just like, they'll say a word, and I'll be like, why did he say man instead of man? And I was just like, man. I'm like, yeah, man, Jamaican, yeah, man. And then he's like, does that make sense? And I was like, yeah, bro, of course. And then I start doing, he's like, you're doing it wrong. Why are you doing it like that? And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. I stopped listening to what you're saying like fucking 15 minutes ago, and I've just been winging it ever since.
Dude, that's the thing is, like, when you get a whole bunch of comedians all with that same fucking ADD and we're all talking to each other, like, the worst thing, dude, when there's like 5, 6 of us all standing in a circle at the end of a gig and everyone wants to be the center of attention. It's like the fucking, like, because everyone's
battling for it.
Yeah.
I didn't get enough time on stage.
Man, you closed up at the basement at the end of the last gig, man. Fucking solid set. You're a good closer. Like I mentioned, I put you up there because I wanted to, fucking...
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's kind of... Towards the end of the night, I think is when the fucking, like, party starts. Probably from the break onwards is, like, where people start to, like, get a few drinks into them and all that shit.
Yeah.
And, and we had fucking Steve Mack from Big Send on as well, and I put him up before you, and it's just, like, a good little fucking closeout for the night. But when I was, when I had you on last month and then again this month, both closing.
Yeah, that's right.
I was trying out a whole bunch of like random fucking like shit last month, and this one I kind of stuck to the script a little bit because I had more comedians on the bill.
That was heaps.
Fuck, man. Because I had a couple of cancellations, and then I went into the reserves list, and everyone that I had cancelled was filled, so I was back up to like full again.
Yeah. What was it? There's like 16 maybe that performed?
Yeah, 16 in total, which is like 8 each side of a break, but then like you get someone that runs a little over, you don't kick it off on time, your break runs more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like before you know it, you got fucking like basically a late show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the last one because I didn't have as many comedians. I was trying like a couple of random bits. And I remember explaining one of my bits to you out the back, and you were like paying attention to the bit I was just telling you, I'm going to go do this bit. And for a second there, I was just like wondering if you'd zoned out or not, because I wasn't used to someone actually listening to me fucking tell them about a bit.
Oh, I think I was like...
You're about to go on. You're probably thinking about your own fucking shit.
I was just like... because I had to duck off into like the back room where we used to do it. And I was like, fuck, what do I talk about when I do stand-up comedy? Because it had been fucking... I hadn't done anything since March. And I was just like, I can't remember fucking... Like, is this even funny anymore? And, like, I look at my material and I'm like... And if you were to read it out loud, like, it's... some of it's just not funny. Like, but I just have to, like, kind of do, like... Yeah, I like to do voices and fucking be a bit more, like, physical, I suppose, when I'm, like, depicting those people. So... I think that if you were to read the script, it doesn't exactly sound funny. So I'm like, look out the back, looking through my phone. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know if this is funny anymore. Like, is this relevant? Like, so much shit has happened, which is why, like, the past 2 sets, that's the only bit of comedy I've done, like, pretty much since, March. Yeah. So I was just like, fuck, I might just, there's people here. Like, it's not just all comedians, like, because that's been a problem at so many rooms in Canberra. You rock up, it's just comics. And you're like, fuck, all right, well, like... I don't know, I always get stale of my material. Like, I'm like, fuck, I hate saying this in front of, like, the same 15 people.
That have heard it before.
That have heard it, like, time and time again. It's just, like, you kind of feel like, fuck, why am I even, like, rocking up? Like, I should have written something else or... Yeah, so that was part of the reason why I just, like, these 2 sets, I was like, I'm just going to stick to stuff that I know, play with the crowd a little bit, and it went pretty well. So, yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And good to see Steve Mack finally giving it a crack. Like, I used to work with that cunt years ago, and he was like, that was another job that I ended up hating. And he's like, well, fucking, what do you fucking want to do, cunt? And I was like, I don't know, man. I've always just kind of thought that like stand-up comedy would be good. And he's like, well, fucking go do it, man. Like, don't fucking come to work like a sorry cunt every day, just being a fucking, you know, like, if you're not fucking happy here, like, go fucking do stand-up, man. And
what a mad cunt, man.
Yeah, then I was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just go do stand-up. And, like, obviously wasn't going to go and just start getting paid straight away. You've got to slug for a little bit. And,
do some fucking open mics and shit.
Yeah, do some open mics.
Many. Even when you're fucking in the grind, you still got to do open mics. No one's ever stops doing fucking new material.
Nah, yeah. So, like, and that's the thing. Like, the only thing I would say about Canberra comedy is I just wish that it was on every night. Like, I wish that there was, you know, 26 more people doing it and every one of those cunts had a room. So, like, if you wanted to work out 4 times a week doing, like, comedy-wise, you could do that. So, that would be the best thing. So, like, I think that's why I'm kind of looking forward to Newcastle a little bit. And, like, if I can make it work with work, you know, maybe fucking dip into Sydney, like, at least once a week. And, like, whilst doing the local things around Newcastle as well. I would have moved to Sydney, but the old bird doesn't like it too much. We've both kind of lived there, and it's fucking a bit busy. So
the old bird,
the old bird. She's like, let's just live in fucking Newcastle or somewhere. Like, it's still beachside, a little bit of a city, and not too busy. So,
dude, how much fucking shit does everyone that does comedy's old bird cop? Like, I mean, not as in like shit from like them paying them out and stuff. But, like, compared to just dating a fucking,
normal
like,
dude.
Joey six-pack, you got this guy that's, like, out all the fucking, like, late night for his comedy shit. And then he's just driving, like, we did fucking Wagga. Like, imagine just being like, oh, yeah, on fucking Saturday I'm going to Wagga to, like, do comedy. And then just, like, unless you bring them along with you, it's just like, yeah, see, I'm going to, like, the middle of New South Wales for a comedy gig. To do a fucking opening spot for a headliner.
Yeah, my dad, like, doesn't understand that as well. He's like, so you drove 4 hours to get paid $20. And I was just like, yes. He's like, why? And I'm like, because crushing isn't the best, bro. Like,
dude,
if you crush, then you fucking, it doesn't matter how much you got paid. Even if you spend it on KFC and forget to fucking fill up and almost fucking run out of fuel on the way home.
That's a fucking good story, man. So you guys, we all got paid at the end, man. Fucking shout out to Riverina Comedy, because I know that when we originally signed up, they were just like, we can't guarantee there'll be money, but we can, like, say that it's a good room and you'll fucking enjoy it or whatever. Or, like, we've built it over time. And then at the end, they were just like, oh, yeah, here's a little something to say thank you. And I'm just like, fucking sick, man. I was going to do it for nothing.
Yeah.
And, and then fucking I go back to my fucking expensive hotel room, and you and fucking Taylor decided to do the suicide trip back to Canberra.
Yeah. And my partner has family that live there. So, like, we probably could have just stayed there. But Taylor was like, I am a bad sleeper. And he's like, I just would prefer to stay in my own bed. So we just chirped the entire way home. But yeah, my company car at the time had a fuel card for Shell, and I didn't even think to fill the car up on the way out. We were just too excited to get food because we were both hungry. And then, yeah, as we were driving out, we get we're on the highway, and I just look, I get paid monthly at this point, and I was just like, I'd spent a lot of money on, I can't even remember what. And so I was in those few days leading towards, like, payday where I was just fucking hanging. And, you know, as a fucking 28-year-old, you know, should be more in control of my finances, but I'm impulsive and wild. So, and I got a drug habit, son. So we ended up, like, fucking just driving home, and I just look at him like, fuck, cunt. And Taylor's like, what? And I'm like, we've got, like, a quarter of a tank, and I don't know where the nearest Shell station is. And I was like, how much money do you have? And Taylor was like, fuck, dude. Like, he wasn't working much at the time either. He's like, I got like $13. And he's like, how much money do you have? And I was like, I've got like $9 in coin, maybe. So we made it to like a Caltex, and we filled up, and I was like, fuck me dead. I was like, what a fucking... We filled up like maybe $20 worth.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, I hope this is enough to get us back into Canberra. So I got back to the outskirts of Canberra, And my thing is like down near empty again. And Taylor's like, I need you to drop me in Bungendore. And I was like, fuck, I'm not making it home, cunt. It's like 3 a.m. I drop Taylor in Bungendore, and I turn around and I was like, I Google like Shell station in the city. And it's just like, there's one, it was like maybe in Braddon, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
So I drove there and I've pulled up and it was fucking closed. It closed at like 10 o'clock. And I'm just sitting there. I was just like, fuck, I don't know if I've got enough petrol that's going to get me back to my house in Weston.
Yeah.
So I was freaking out and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do, man? And I looked on my Uber and shout out to the old bird. I still had her credit card details saved. So I ordered myself an Uber. And then, yeah, like the next day I got up and got dropped back out to my car and found a Shell station that was open because I was conveniently parked at one, and then filled up and was like, fuck, man. That was the last time, dude. Now I'm always got an eye on the fuel gauge. So that's the problem with fucking petrol that you don't have to pay for. You don't even think about it. You just fuck it, man. Like, I haven't looked at petrol prices in fucking ages, man.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I just got my actual car back. And yeah, I've handed in my former works car, and I was just like, fuck, man, now I need to pay for petrol again. I was just like, I didn't even think about this as an extra cost. It's fucked, so...
It fucking adds up, man. Like when you, I reckon the biggest one's accommodation, man. Like.
Yeah, dude. Well, fuck. It would have been like at least $200 to stay there for the night.
Yeah, dude. It's just, but whatever, man. I fucking hung out. It was a good fucking night. Actually, Dane Simpson's old man, fucking Bo. Dude, he came out and had beers with us after.
Yeah.
What a fucking loose unit, dude.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
He's a fucking loose motherfucker.
The same thing happened with when we did it with Mike. When I didn't perform there, Mike Goldstein was the headliner, and I ended up staying at my partner's cousin's house that night.
Yeah.
So we all just got fucking so sauced afterwards. Like we pretty much drank until the bar like had closed.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're drinking all throughout the show. And yeah, dude, I remember just leaving. I was just like, fuck it. Like, I just had spent maybe $200 on the bar, a fucking $100 worth of fuel. Lucky I didn't pay for accommodation, but it was just like, yeah, I spent like $250 to earn $20. So it's like, oh well, fucking it is what it is, man. So,
fuck yeah, that's the thing.
All for the love of fucking comedy, man. The love and the pain of fucking comedy. So
you got to do the fucking hell gigs and the like. That wasn't a hell gig, but it was like long travel, all that shit. That like pays off in the fucking.
Well,
end.
dude, when you walk in there and you see that it's a fucking sick room, like it's set up well, they sell out. The crowd generally is down to laugh, and they're not uptight at all. Like they all love to have a drink. Like there's some of my like. If you had told me like Wagga Wagga would be a really fun place to do comedy, I would be like, what? And I was just like, okay. But I think Dane and Eleanor make it fucking what it is. Like it's fucking sick, and the fact that they can throw it once a month and still get people to come out. And, that's an effort in itself. So
yeah, dude, fucking
dude,
shout
I
out.
thought that was a bong over there. I was like, you have a very tall, beautiful looking bong over there, sir.
Nah, dude, that's a fucking retro lamp.
A retro lamp, son. But you know what? Could probably turn it into a bong,
Yeah, well, it probably...
Stoners should be engineers, I reckon.
Dude, they fucking... Like, the amount of fucking crazy shit I've seen over the years that's been engineered by stoners.
Engineered into a bong is the funny... Like, the Gatorade bottle and the hose is just the tip of the iceberg. Like,
yep.
You'll see people, like, do fucking tinnies. Have you seen that? And they crush a tin and, like, fuck me dead, dude.
The fucking apple.
Yeah, apples, like... Yeah,
everything, dude.
Everything in between. Did you ever smoke weed?
No, I haven't been. I haven't really been that guy ever. Really, like I grew up down the coast, and there was down at Maria.
I'm surprised nobody smoked weed down there. The people would have smoked.
Oh no, people did. I just never did.
Yeah,
it was always out there, but I was just like, no, I was just like fucking happy to just have a few drinks and fucking chill.
Yeah.
I think honestly, dude, like I'm so fucking like tightly strung and fucking hardwired to just be like so fucking determined to do shit. I'd be the cunt that smokes pot and turns into a fucking schizo. Like, just because I just don't want to tempt that fucking fate. Like, I just know.
I think a lot of people was like, my partner's like kind of scared of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, Snoop Dogg smokes like 72 blunts a day and is still like intact. He's good.
I just reckon like that fucking. The same DNA that makes me fucking driven to like do shit, or the same drive, whatever, is like the same shit that makes you a fucking like psycho cunt as soon as you have weed for the first time, because it's like your brain's so fucking active, and then all of a sudden it can't do what it wants to do, so it just fucking like takes itself out in different methods.
It might chill you out. You never know.
Dude, honestly, motherfuckers out there are listening. Like, sounds like you need pot.
Yeah, dude. That's like every stoner who's listening to this would be like, that's the exact reason why you need to just try like a little bit of weed. I used to work at a weed dispensary in Canada, and it was one of the chillest jobs on the planet. Have I spoke about this on the podcast?
No,
before?
dude.
Yeah. Okay. So when I lived in Canada in 2015, and my boss there.
Was this the 5-year job? Or?
No, dude. I could have seen myself staying there for 5 years though. I think I had a 2-year work visa, ended staying up there for like 4 months. Because we traveled the States and I'd spent a fuck ton of money, and with my 2 mates, they ended up going home and they're like, what are you going to do when you get to Canada? And I was like, I don't know, work in a bar or a fucking weed dispensary. And the bar that I ended up getting a job at was like a bit of a dive bar, like pretty dark in there.
Yeah.
Always playing sports, had like air hockey tables and a few pinball machines and shit.
Fuck yeah.
And this is where I did my first ever stand-up set, was in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so on Sundays they'd do stand-up comedy, like open mic. And on my first shift there, because I was going to one of my cousin's friends and I was getting him to buy weed for me, but it was like, he'd always go and buy it, and like, it'd be like you being like, hey man, can you buy me a 6-pack? And I was like, yeah, sweet. And then I come out and I give you like 5 beers, and you're like, you can tell that that's not what you pay for. Like,
yeah.
He's taken like a gram or two and put it in like a separate little bag. So
I like how you dumbed it down for me. Like, you just like made it relatable.
Oh, just for anyone who hasn't kind of smoked. Like, you just look at it, like, you know what I mean? You're just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
So like, he wasn't a bad bloke, but like,
the giveaway for that is you said 6-pack and he brings 4 beers. Like, that's the tell in that fucking story.
Yeah.
Like, it's
here you go, man. So yeah, I remember working, and there was this girl, and I was just like, hey, and she's like, hey, I was just like, just randomly, could you like help me get a green card? And she was just like, look, dude, you're pretty cute, but like, I don't know you from a fucking bar soap, so there's no way that I'm gonna marry you. And I was like, oh no, dude, like a medical like green card for like smoking weed. And she's like, because it was only like medicinal there at that point. And she was just like, oh fuck. And she's like, yeah, that was weird, bro. Like, don't ever ask somebody that again. Like, just say you want a weed card. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, just go ask Armin. And Armin was the boss. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking... Because I'm like thinking like an Australian, you know? Like, you're not going to go ask your boss for weed. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like...
It's like the last cunt you're going to ask.
Yeah. You ask every employee, like, before that. And I was just like, I don't fucking trust this guy. Like, he's probably going to think I'm a fucking loser. And... on one of my first closed shifts, the comedian that runs the open mic night was closing the bar with me, and Armin, he'd closed the doors, and then there was a little side room that you couldn't see from the main street because you have to actually be closed by a certain time. So we'd go sit in the side room, and he'd just roll up fucking huge joints, and we'd just drink literally until fucking the early morning.
Yeah.
So he was, so after my first shift, he was like, yeah, fucking hook into some beers, roll up some joints. And yeah, I was just sitting there chatting to the other comedian, and I was just like, well, fuck, dude. I was like, hey, Armin, if you ever need somebody to work in your weed dispensary, you know, like, I don't have much experience, but I've got a ton of enthusiasm. He just looked at me, he's like, are you fucking serious? And I was like, oh, is that the wrong thing to ask? He's like, no, like, are you fucking serious? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm serious. He's like, I literally just like had to let go of somebody yesterday. So he's like, he's like, this fixes all my problems. He's like, I'll put you on certain days at the bar, and I'll put you on certain days at the dispensary.
Fuck yeah.
And always gave me Sundays off so I could sit down there, and like Sundays is huge for football, like the American football.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'd just get drunk, and everyone would kind of have a team, and you'd rock up in your jerseys, and people would day drink from like 10:30 at night. 10:30 in the morning, and then you just keep going all day, and then at 8 o'clock at night the stand-up comedy started. So Sunday was like, go
fucking
drink,
gnarly.
smoke weed, eat food, like try to stay sober until 8 o'clock to then do some stand-up. And
fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking
sober enough to do stand up.
I just be like, I'm drunk enough where I don't care what people say. Like, I'm a random Australian. Like, I'm never going to see these people ever again. So that was the mentality that went into it. So I think I've told the story of like meeting the Irish guy who on the pod who's like told me that he's just like, yeah, fuck, dude. Like, if you don't do stand up next week, like you owe me a night on the piss. So, yeah, that was all at that fucking venue. So, dude, it worked out so good, man. I was like, fuck, I should have stayed there a little bit longer, but I was a bit homesick and ended up coming home. But
did you come back to Canberra or Sydney? Or wherever you were before?
I came back to Canberra at that point. And then, moved to Sydney, I think, afterwards. Wanted to be down in Coogee. Yeah. Just, fuck, living at home, man. Like, it just gets to a certain point where you're like, fuck, my parents are cool, but sometimes you just want to chill out and just, do your own thing and not be fucking stressed over.
Yeah, so dude. I fucking, it's like the impressions you do of your old man on stage just reminds me of like most of my mates' old mans.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. My old man's he's a funny cunt, man. Like I think he like low-key loves that I do comedy because he'll call me all the time and be like, mate, I got one for you. And then he'll just start telling me somebody else's joke. And I'll be like, whose joke is that? And he's just like, one of mine. And I was like, Dad, that's not one of your jokes. Like, he just like will tell you a bit from somebody. I'm like, whose joke is it? He's like, mate, I just thought you could do it on stage. I was like, it's not karaoke, dude. Like, I can't fucking, use somebody else's joke. Like, at one point, someone's going to be like, that's not your fucking joke, dude. So he's always like, he always calls me at least once a week with fucking a new bit. And I just tell him, fuck, I'll try that one out, mate.
Give it a crack. And then just like, nah, I can't fucking do that one.
Well, that was like the funny thing, like that one night at the basement, months ago, like at the start of the year, where you were just like, I think it was a real quiet night. I think it was just comedians. And you're like, fuck it. Like, everyone just like fucking in amongst some of your like you just like, just try new shit. Everyone try new shit. We've seen everybody else's stuff like before. Even if it's not your joke, just say like fucking like my favorite joke.
One joke. Say your favorite one joke.
Yeah. And I ended up, telling that one that my dad would have told me. So I called him afterwards and I was like, your joke went well, mate. He's like, oh, bloody good to know, mate. And then he just calls me like fucking all the time now with just these new bits that I swear to God, he just gets CDs from like the fucking petrol station and he just will find like a Rodney Rood or a fucking like someone like old Carl Barron or some shit, and he'll just be like, chuck it on and be like, oh, there's a good joke. I'll just switch it up and fucking
change out fucking John Howard for fucking ScoMo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like pretty much the same joke, just old as shit. Yeah, dude. I growing up down the coast, I just fucking used to have like that typical, your mate's old man. Like, I had a buddy when we were in school and he said, like, pretty much without fail, every time before him and his mates went out surfing, he'd always just be like, oi, remember, if you drowned, I'll fucking kill you. Like, every time. He thought it was hilarious. Or, like, he'd just say random shit like that. Like, my buddies were in a band called Break a Leg. It's like a punk band.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get, like a sample for the start of one of their songs.
Yeah.
Of them just going into their old man, like, in the fucking kitchen and just getting him to say break a leg so they could fucking use that as the intro to one of their songs. Some fucking geezer going break a leg.
Break a leg, you dog.
Yeah, some fucking shit like that. And old man's like, big dude, fucking Ned Kelly beard, just like doing the dishes when they walked in, and they're all like 16 fucking year old dudes with their like flip phone on record. They go in there and
Motorola Razors.
That's it, man, the fucking razor. They go in there and you just hear say break a leg, look at me and say break a leg. And then you just hear this pause and he goes, how about fuck off? They fucking use that as the sample anyway. So they just got this mad fucking intro.
Ended up working out better. Dude, fuck, how wild was it when those things first came out and you could like, remember Bluetooth? Like the first time Bluetooth was a thing and like your mate's like, I'm going to send you a fucking song via Bluetooth to you. And you could make it a ringtone. I was just like, well, this has just changed the game entirely, man. Like,
so many fucking Akon fucking ringtones.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Have you seen the like the 2007 and Forever thing on it's like on Facebook and you can like click a song from like Blink-182 and a song from Jay-Z, and it just like makes
fuck no.
makes a mashup. I'll see if I can find my friend who posted the link.
Fuck yeah.
But it was so random, dude. I was just like, fuck, all these songs from 2007 you've pretty much forgotten about.
Dude.
Just making like the ultra mashups. And I was just like, fucking just click and drag on these ones. It's like, this is DJ. This is the easiest form of DJing, but it's just throwback fucking hits from 2007.
Fuck yeah.
So.
Mad throwbacks. I got like a throwback playlist that I put on sometimes just to fucking, like, if I'm driving somewhere that's going to take more than a few hours, and I just sometimes, like, I listen to a podcast, but sometimes I'm not fucking in the mood to just sit there for like 4 hours and listen to a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't obviously travel much at the moment, but I used to have to, go to and from my old man's place. He lives near Wagga, which is for that comedy thing. I actually went to his after that gig.
Yeah.
And showed him my set and shit. The first time he ever seen it was the Wagga set. So I was pretty fucking happy with that because I reckon that set went pretty well. And I actually have like a throwback playlist for those fucking trips.
Yeah.
So I always chuck that shit on. But dude, I was like the middleman when it came to dealing out those fucking the like songs and photos and just old fight videos. Like if there was a fight at our school and some cunt fucking filmed it.
Yeah.
I was like the middleman because I had the fucking N95, the Nokia.
Yeah.
And it had infrared and Bluetooth.
Yeah, yeah.
So if some cunt filmed it, but he was some fucking poor cunt that only had an old phone with infrared, he come to me fucking like... I bought it off my old manager at work.
Yeah.
And other than that, no cunt had that phone because it was like fucking heaps, like fucking whatever, $1,000 or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But because he got a new plan, he didn't know any on the phone. I got it off him for like $100. So I fucking was the dude with an N95 and the fucking 5-megapixel camera and shit. So I'd be like, if there was a fight going on, it'd be like, fucking tell Mark first so the cunt can get a good video of the fucking
tell
shit.
him where it's going down so he can film it.
That's exactly right, man. Fucking, so I didn't cop any mad fucking brawls, but I got the I get like the poor cunt's fucking infrared phone, put it onto mine, and then every motherfucker with Bluetooth would just come up to me at lunchtime and be like, "Oh, send us that fucking brawl from the other day."
How funny was like the quality of that shit as well? Just all pixelated and fucked. You could barely hear anything. Like
and just
the guy
yelling.
gets smacked, and then like the smack noise happens, and then you see his head like 2 seconds later kind of fall back and. Yeah, fuck. So many of those, like, so much stupid shit like that happened at my school as well.
There was, like, there was a couple that were, like, pretty much just people pushing each other. There was one good one that was basically just one dude arcing up, like, with the chest out, and the other dude just fucking just fucking one punch right in the face.
Oh, no.
And not the one punch, just a punch.
Yeah.
And, that was the fucking best one I end up sharing.
There was like a one that went all around Canberra that was just like a compilation. So someone had made a compilation of all the brawls, the ones you'd see in Tuggeranong and different schools and all the public schools, and just people just punching on. Just like, fucking hell, you cunts are wild, man. But,
dude, how
too much of a pussy to ever get in a brawl.
How filthy is fucking some of this? Like, do you ever just see yourself out in public? You see shit like that going on, and you're like, why the fuck is this even happening? Like, or why are people so fucking loose? Like, dude, I was on the bus the other day, and I fucking put my feet under the seat as I, like, sat down.
Yeah.
And there was this, I could smell, like, fucking, like, pineapple, like, perfume or some shit. Like, there was some, like, tween chick sitting in front of me, and I was judging her so hard. I was just like, this fucking bitch with her fucking sweet, like, tweeny fucking
stinky
perfume shit. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, because she had like, all the fucking red flags, like the pink hair ties and shit. Like, that, like, she has like a bed full of like Care Bears and shit that she has to move every night to sleep on the fucking thing.
Oh, she was a weirdo.
One of those, yeah. And I'm just like judging her super hard, just making up fucking ideas about like her personality and shit like that. And I get off the bus and I'm waiting for my next bus and I'm fucking chilling and I could still fucking smell it. I'm like, it's burning my fucking nose, Like, it must have been that bad. And then I just kick my feet out in front of me and I notice there's like a fat fucking blob of fucking tropical chewing gum on my leg from under the seat.
That's what the smell was?
That's what the fucking smell was the whole
gross.
time. It's just like,
So this chick might not be a weirdo.
she
at all.
was
She's
like,
probably
I
just normal as fuck.
definitely was not any of that
This
shit.
dirty,
It was
stinky
turns
fucking-
out I'm the fucking dirty, stinky tween bitch.
Dude, she probably thought, who's this guy with a fucking big beard behind me that smells like a fucking...
Pina colada.
Yeah, it smells like fucking moose heads on a Saturday night.
Did you hear they're back open again?
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That's
Apparently
probably
they're
not for the
open.
best, man.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
That's a fucking epicenter of diseases, that joint. So.
Yeah, like STDs, and then like now it's corona.
Yeah. Did you ever
STIs.
see the
What's
photo
the
of the
fucking
dude getting
correct
the
shit?
head whilst taking a shit?
No.
Bro.
Fuck. That's
One of the worst
all
things.
at Moose Heads, though.
Yeah, dude, one of the worst things that I've ever seen. Ironically, I used to work with that dude. I was just like, that photo got
Did he
circulated
show you,
around.
or did someone show
No,
you?
it got circulated around, and like, the funny thing was, dude, he looks like, I'm pretty sure, man, he may even be like passed out. And yeah, because he's got like quite unique kind of tattoos.
Yeah, dude. How fucking
And-
funny is that shit when someone has unique ass tattoos
Yeah.
and you see fucking shit of them online?
Yeah, I
Like,
was like, what the fuck? And yeah, like, so it wasn't, I think it was just like, I think one of my other friends had just like kind of sent it through. I was like, I'm fucking 98% sure I work with that guy. And yeah, the next time I saw him at work, I was like, were you out on the weekend? He's like, fuck, not you too, cunt. Like, he just knew, man. Like,
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
like, it's going around. But I think that's way worse for the girl than it is for him, though. Like,
yeah, dude.
that
Like,
poor bitch, dude. Like, at least she didn't have any unique tattoos. Let's just say that. So she could be anyone.
yeah, plus anyone with a tramp stamp, like doing that, if it was a tramp stamp, it's just like fucking, it could be anyone still.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. Well, she didn't have any ink.
Imagine just like seeing, you know how you can tell a lot about someone by their tramp stamp.
Oh,
You see, like if it's faded or how long ago they got
if
it.
it's tribal, it's just like, okay, she was a whore in the 90s.
Yeah. It's like, you know how old tattoos are like more green than black.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see one of those, dude. That's like some proper fucking.
What do your parents say about your tattoos?
Oh, my mum and dad are both chilled with it. Like my old man neither of them have tattoos. I got a younger brother who's got a lot more tattoos than me.
Yeah.
Like up to his neck, knuckles, hands, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, not knuckles actually. Is it? Yeah, he's got knuckles and hands. That's right. Like so, I think at first, because my brother's first few tattoos were like fucking just random things that he got. Like
Yeah.
he had "Can't Win 'Em All" tattooed in his arm, and no, on the outside of his arm, but he had that covered up with this like dark fucking piece. So yeah, like at first, I think the first couple they were like, "What'd you fucking get that for, mate?" Like because they were just random ones.
Yeah.
But now that he's got a bunch of tattoos that are real good, and I have always just like I think I was like 21 when I got my first, so they've always been fairly conscious fucking decisions, and not just
Yeah.
drunk tattoos at like someone's house. They're chilled with it, but yeah,
My parents hate them. They're just like, don't get any more, please.
fuck for real.
Yeah, and I've got some more booked in, so I'm going to have to make a phone call and disappoint them next week and be like, hey, I quit my job and I've spent a lot of money on getting a tattoo. And they're just going back, well, you are dumber than we fucking thought you were, man. Quits his job in a pandemic, spends the last of his coin on a tattoo, and then moves to a fucking different city. So,
Does your
Pretty
your
smart
parents
life
live
decisions.
in Sydney or
nah, they're down the coast.
Yeah,
down
right.
south coast, so up towards Narooma.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, lived there for like dad's like he's still working, but if you ask him, he's like, yeah, man, I'm fucking pretty much retired. And he just says like, yeah, I've got 18 months left, and he says that like every 18 months. But
Fuck.
he's just working for a company he doesn't particularly give a fuck about either. So he's just like, man, fuck this.
Genetic.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he worked hard like for a long time and provided for the family, and mum would just stay home.
Yeah.
So he's at least got work ethic, which I don't have. So he can sustain a job that he dislikes for a long amount of time.
Yeah.
Just to provide for family. Where like I'm like, I don't want to have kids for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Well, fuck him.
Yeah, dude.
I want to fuck off and go overseas. I don't want to have to look after some twerp or pay for him to fucking go read books. Dude, everyone sounds fucking miserable with a kid.
Dude, that sounds like me, man. I'm the same fucking like mindset. I'm like, it's the problem with having kids is you don't need to be fucking qualified to do it.
No, you just need to fucking have weak pull-out game.
Yeah, dude. Like, actually, I was talking about this before to a buddy of mine. I got this mate, and I went to CIT with him. That's how I met him when I was studying IT. And he was like, my tip to be the 40-year-old virgin. And that was like 8 years ago. And after 3 years of us leaving CIT, he met this chick. And in the last 5 years, he's had 3 fucking kids.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, dude, we get it. You've got shit fucking reflexes. Stop fucking proving us right by having more kids.
Yeah. The worst is like when you see people that would be good parents that can't have kids, and then cunts that have kids and they're just like, I don't give a fuck about him. Like,
or someone that's smart enough to know they won't be a good parent, so they don't. Like, it's like that person doesn't breed anymore.
Yeah, they're conscious. They're conscious about what they're doing. Like, I'm a fucking disgrace. Last thing the world needs is more disgraces.
Yeah, but then like other people are the opposite. Like those people that we just mentioned are smart enough to know that they're like not good for the gene pool.
Yeah.
But they're also fucking like not smart enough to do anything about it. But the other people are just like, they don't know their shit, and also they are shit and they keep breeding.
Yeah. Dude, I'll find you this photo here. So are you a rugby league supporter? Are you a sports fan at all?
I don't follow like much. I watch ice hockey and I like my fucking American shit, but I don't really follow like Australian league and all that shit.
I'll have to.
I watch Union every now and then, but that's about it.
Who's your ice hockey team?
Boston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you predominantly a Boston sports fan when it comes to sports? Like
it's all fucking like Pat Seltz and fucking Bruins.
Yeah.
It's because of Bill Burr, to be honest with you. I listened to his podcast and then I look at it and then I started watching games and I still prefer them. Like I used to play ice hockey for a while. I still can play, but it's just fucking shut down at the moment. But I mean, on and off ice hockey since like 2016.
Yeah, it was massive, like for us in Canada, like pretty much. You didn't have a choice. So
fucking Canadian people come to Australia to like just have a skate, and they're like so much fucking better already. Like, dude, it's insane.
Like, the fact that those guys can like ice skating is pretty hard. Like I used to rollerblade as a kid, so I could always do it. And I always laughed at people that were just fucking complete and utter gumbies that would just like fall on the ground. I was like, how can you not fucking do this, you idiot? But then you see a Canadian dude who's just like can skate backwards.
Yeah.
These guys fight. They just get into a brawl on the ice. I was just like, man, imagine getting fucking smashed on the ground is one thing, but some cunt belting you in the face
while you fucking doing
while you fall into the ground.
Dude, I remember my first proper game with like a ref and shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop properly and I just fucking ran straight into the ref. And I was like,
sorry, ref.
Kind of got this thing where it's just like, look at you, you mad cunt, because you just made a fucking call against us.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, this fucking mad cunt just took on the ref because like, who fucking made a call? And I just owned it, although it was obviously I just can't fucking skate straight and stop. So, but yeah, I ended up getting fucked up.
Fuck, I don't know where this photo is.
I went for a stop. I caught an edge and just fucked up my ankle. Like twisted it hell bad. Broke my fucking leg and everything. And then I went back again. And then after I'd been skating and was trying out for this year, fucking COVID hit and they had to shut the rink down.
Who did you play for?
I played for the Hornets. They're a D grade team.
Oh, okay. In what? How many teams are even in the Canberra Comp?
So there's D, C, B, and A grade.
Yeah.
In D, there was like fucking like 8 teams or some shit, or 6 or 8. I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's actually fucking massive. Like in Canberra, there's like a solid group of people that fucking do it. Yeah, dude.
I had to go back so we're talking about bad parenting before. Have a look at this lady here.
Oh.
Look at those meth teeth, son. She's just that's the
doggy.
epitome of a fucking bulldog supporter. And you can tell that her kid's a little shit as well. Like he doesn't even know that he's a little shit, but he's a little cunt. You can just tell.
He's got that fucking, you know how like you see kids that are real like little shits, and they have fucking sticky stuff on their fucking
Yeah,
on
dude,
their hands and
he
all
wears
that shit.
fucking torn clothes to school, never has lunch because mum spent it on meth. Just a
Dude.
real fucking disgrace.
See, I was judging someone before about the bubble gum on my leg, but I think this is legit.
Oh, dude, that's what, like, there's only two reasons to do meth. One, to lose weight, and to B, ruin your life. And she's lost all the weight, and she's now just ruining her life. So
Yeah, dude, it's like the barrier in fucking Space Invaders. Like, the barrier is the weight.
the fine line, yeah.
Yeah, and once that's gone, dude, it's all ruin your life.
Yeah, dude. Then, like, yeah, it was a joke that I used to have, how you lose weight, you lose friendship and family, and you lose teeth. And that's...
Dude,
it's all losses with fucking...
I just remembered an old bit of yours, man. The first time I ever seen you do comedy was at fucking Young and Frisky.
Yeah.
And I think it was like maybe the time after that, you bought in all these little baggies and
the meth.
yeah, just
Fake
fake meth bags and was just fucking throwing it out. Dude, I forgot about that fucking bit. How funny is that shit, dude?
Well, fuck. Like, one night after that, some guy, like, because I was just roasting some cunt. And I was like, you're a fat cunt, man. Like, smoke some of this meth. Lose some weight. You won't know yourself. And he got really upset. And at the end of the comedy night, we were all just having a few drinks. And he's like, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, sweet. And he, like, pulled me aside and he's like, I just want you to know that I work very closely with the AFP. And I'll be taking this up the ladder, so you might be hearing from us.
What the fuck?
And I was just like, well, good luck, buddy. Like, in that bag was just casket sugar.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, bro, I just hope that at one point he went into his office and he's just like, Sarge. And he's just like, not now, dude. All right, Brian, get back to filing the paper. And he's just like, no. He's just like, I really need to chat to you, Sarge. And he's like, what's up? And he's just like, I've put my finger on the meth trade. And he's just like, it's a comedian in Canberra. He throws it out at Young and Friskies and encourages people to take it. Like, we've caught the guy. Like, what a fucking idiot, man. Like, who would throw real bags of meth out?
Yeah, dude.
Fucking stupid cunt.
That dude fucked up because he reckons that, like, he knows about it, and then wouldn't the first thing you'd learn about meth be what it's worth?
Yeah.
Like, and then, like...
I don't even know what it's worth, but, like...
But, like, you'd know
yeah,
it's
like,
worth more than to throw the fucking shit out.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, who's gonna... And, like, it's not like I threw out 2 bags. I threw out, like, 38 bags. Like, I was walking around, there was a wireless microphone. People who didn't want to do comedy, I was just giving them bags of meth. They were just there to eat chicken and have some chips and be left alone. And I was like, nah, here's a bag of meth. And they're like, thank you, man. Don't need that. And I was just like, have you ever fucked on meth? You might need it. So.
That came up in the last episode with Benny, man. He
Fucking
was like,
on meth?
Yeah, part of, like,
God.
rehab should be teaching people how to fuck properly when they're not on meth.
Ah, dude, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you'd fuck on meth and you'd fuck for 4 days. And then it'd just be like, look, dude, I'm not coming. You've come maybe once. But... we
Dude,
gotta stop doing this.
Yeah, no, dude, I remember that shit. It was fucking great. But the best part about that story, dude, is that motherfucker blamed you because he was a fat fuck.
Yeah.
And he took it out on you because he felt bad. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you fucking, like, have made a conscious effort to be a fat, obnoxious cunt.
Yeah. Stop being that guy.
At any point in that fucking series of things you've fucked up, did I come in and make you be that motherfucker?
Yeah, sorry to be the guy, the beacon of light that made you realize you're a fat piece of shit. Dude.
I just want to watch a motherfucker holding up a pair of pants one day on TV and be like, oh, I used to be 140 kilos. Now I'm down to fucking 78 kilos. And I wouldn't be able to do this and make this possible unless some motherfucker didn't throw a bag of meth at me at fucking Young and Friskies when I was eating chicken.
No, yeah, well, yeah. I suppose that's pretty similar, like along the lines of the joke that I had. Maybe I should just get out like one of those extra, like maybe I should order like a size like 52 suit pants.
Fuck yeah.
And then just be like, guys, I used to be 125 kilos and I'm now down to 80 and I couldn't put that together. I couldn't be here today without one key ingredient to weight loss, and that's fucking meth, you cunts.
Dude, the best part about that is getting those fucking giant clothes and knowing that once upon a time some cunt used to actually wear that as his actual clothes.
Yeah.
It's like when you
Go to Vinnie's.
it's like when you go through the drive-through in Macca's, right? You think to yourself, like, the person in this drive-through doesn't realise, but they've fucking served some people tonight that are at, like, the lowest point in their fucking life. And to them, it's just their job to serve those people.
Oh, dude, that's me every day I go to McDonald's.
Like, the thing is, dude, like, you go to Macca's and the person's just like, "Hi, how you going?" But that person may have just served somebody who's, like, going to be talking about what they just did as the lowest point in their life. Like, but to them it was just like, "Oh yeah, order number 63."
Yeah, here's your double quarter pounder
But
and your fucking vanilla Coke.
Like, how many people do you reckon are doing something right now or whatever at this point in their life and they don't realise, but they're actually going to be talking about that as the lowest?
Oh, dude, anybody who works in hospitality, people who are playing the pokies non-stop, gambling, drinking every night, those people are at the lowest point of their lives, just chasing fucking dragons. But you know what they say, man, your losses can't run forever, so just keep chasing them. Keep chasing those losses. They're going to fucking tire out before you do.
You're going to fucking cash out soon, no worries.
That's it, man. You got to get your coin. I might have to split, brother. What's the time? Yeah,
No, it's all good, man. I'm pretty sure the GoPro cut out, so if you're still listening to this episode, the fucking last half of this is just going to be audio only. So
maybe it should just be audio only as well, because people probably won't want to look at my fucking
dude.
sloppy rig.
Dude, you fucking... You'll get people listening, man. If they're already listening with me on here, man, you'll be a fucking breath of fresh air. So, yeah, fucking thanks for being on the show, man.
Anytime, man. Sorry I had to cut it a bit short.
No, that's all good, man.
Double booked myself for some plans, so...
Fucking busy, man. I'm glad you got to come in and do this,
thanks
man.
for having me, brother.
Yeah, cheers for being on. I'll fucking catch you next time, and fucking good luck in Newey, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
And if any of you stupid-ass bitches have made it this far, you've been listening to the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast. Well, thank you. Can't wait to see your sweet little honey buns again. Yeah, you make me feel good in all the right places.